Hello everyone and welcome back to our Burton Albion England DNA series. I'm excited for this episode because we have turned it around. The results have been very, very good off camera, and it's been because of one tactic, one tweak to a tactic that we originally had. And like I said before, the three at the back tactic that we've been using, or the ones that we've been using rather, since the winter updates come out, it's been a lot better at building through the thirds and retaining the ball, even with the same settings as before. But we also started to tweak it to make it more progressive with the ball, a little more possession based, a little more careful with what we do with it in possession. It's not quite as direct and as chaotic. And this is what we've gone to. We have all the tweaks of the last tweak to it. So we have positive mentalities of attacking before at the start of the save. It's slightly more shorter build up, be more expressive in the instructions there. And also the pivots have gone up to the CM sort of slot. Now, and also the inverted back on the left side. So we have we can have like a central fielder there, right? Now the triple shadow striker. Why triple shadow striker? I tried lots of combinations of this off camera with different roles, etc. It seems to work better with shadow strikers because they don't always make the same runs. Like if the ball goes to the right wing back, just because they're all shadow striker, they don't all make the run at the same time. The benefit of having the side players on shadow striker is that when the ball's their side, if the ball goes to like a wing back here and here, they'll then make that run more aggressively than if they were an advanced playmaker or attacking fielder, etc. And also same for the central player. I felt like that no matter what other role I put on, they may have been slightly better in building up and getting on the ball, but then they weren't making the runs anywhere near aggressive enough. They still don't as shadow strikers, don't forget either. So you're going to see times where they could make the runs and they don't, even with shadow striker. So the way this works is really as follows. So even though it has three strikers or three players in a line there, that's not how it plays, right? If it goes to lack him and he gets it here and he plays it in behind, maybe the Adebayo starts to make a run, he ends up like in that sort of position. So the shape becomes that almost. So you've got like a in behind striker and these two are supporting deep. Then while he goes in behind, it could be that Keenan's early to support on the far side and ends up in that shape. It could be that John Keenan goes through with him and then Keenan holds off. They don't ever really get a three very often. And then if it goes to the middle, it could be that John King makes a run forwards and these two stay behind, so ends up in that shape. It could be that the ball switch and Keenan makes a quick run in behind, and then we flip reverse the whole shape again. So it basically is just a fluid front three. It can become a 2-1. It can become a 1-2 like this. It can become any of those sort of shapes that you want it to be. It can rarely also be a 3. They'll defend like this, but more spread out across the pitch. And they will also like to, they'll start off in certain set pieces, like almost like in a line, but they also break out from that, right? So it seems to be the best of all worlds really for us, and it seems to have really changed the results. And don't forget, when you get into a bad run of form early on with this team, we are significantly worse than all the teams we're playing against in the main, right? So that's a huge problem. We can't buy any players. So if we get off to a bad start, we could easily go down if we're not careful, especially if we have a tactic that we're not quite set on. And I thought we were struggling to do anything right. So the fact we've turned this around, if you look down to, if we try and look from like Huddersfield upwards, right? That's like, well, let's say Huddersfield, let's say Brighton upwards. That is a team going down 100%. And that, if you look from like, I don't know, if you look from then Peterborough down, that looks like a team that's going to the playoffs or promotion. So all in all, it leaves us bang mid-table, but obviously with a terrible start to the season. If we can maintain the current pace till the end of the season, we will end up in the playoffs because we're doing that well. Likelihood is that we'll go through different spells, players will drop off, we'll get a bit of tiredness in the team, we'll lose players to injury, and we'll fall off a little bit. So my predictions will finish around in that sort of 8th to 16th bracket where we'll be outside the playoffs, but too far from the relegation zone. I'm not quite sure where we're going to finish, but it's going to be in that bracket, I think. But it's been really, really positive off camera. And yeah, I'm looking forward to showing you, the tactic really, to be honest. There's the odd occasion when they'll go quite direct because they're under pressure. Nobody they feel is really on and open, so they play a bit direct, but it's still better than what it was by quite a distance. They play some lovely, lovely football. They look like they're so intelligent in rotating their positions. Right, Parker Trott will get it wide. Tom Keenan makes a run in behind, doesn't go there. Then he plays it to King, and then King goes through and plays it to Keenan, and he scores. It's just there's so many beautiful patterns that I've seen from this. So I'm really excited to show this to you. We're going to play Preston, West Brom, and Luton in today's episode. 2 away games and a home game. And if we were to end up with 7 points from these 3 games, we could be in a genuine playoff race, which is incredible to say from where we were. Now, despite all the positivity and excitement, there is one problem, and that is that Justin Parker Trott still refuses to sign a new contract, and he's developing so good. It's honestly, we may as well start off with this, right? Let's start off with the attribute reviews, I guess. So the last 6 months, that is his development. That is in the last 12 months. Like Justin Parker Trott is continuously improving time and time again, and he won't re-sign a contract with us. We've got him for the rest of this season plus one more. And my hope is that we'll get him to re-sign in that time. But obviously, you know, I'm not going to sell him early. We're not going to cash in on him. If he goes on a free, he goes on a free. And this opens up a question, right? So I just want to ask your opinion on this. So for me, my point of the save was that there were no signings. So when we go back through this list, go transfer history, and you go every season, there's never a name that says player in. But I just want to ask the question to the audience to see what everybody thinks watching. If we were to lose Justin Parker-Trott, and there was a potential opportunity to bring him back at a later date via a loan or a permanent transfer or a signing on a free, would you think that would be allowed and okay in this series? I'm interested to hear what you think. For me personally, I'm an extremist there. I think that it should just have no players in. If he leaves, he leaves. We lose him. We have to move on with other players. That's my gut feeling on it. But I'm interested to see what everybody else thinks. So let's see. Like if there's a massive overwhelming majority of the view that say no, if he goes, but we can get him back, you bring him back because it's a youth only save. But he technically it's from our own youth team. So do let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section on that. Anyway, but let's carry on with some player development reviews. Aled Harrison. 6 months improving, more consistent as a goalkeeper. His positioning going up to 13 seems to be the thing that's made him slightly better. Still quite slow for a goalkeeper, but a solid goalkeeper. Thank God we got one. I don't think we needed 3, but at least we got 1. Mitchell King, I think, starting to plateau out to where he is, which is fine. He's a little slow for a centre-back. I might leave him on quickness the entire rest of the season, because if there's one slight negative to him, it's that maybe for a smaller centre-back that's not dominant in the air, he's not very quick. So maybe I take him off of his other stuff. We put him just on quickness for the rest of the year. I think I might do that. So this is where we're going to start to pivot it towards individual learning plans for certain players, right? Like his weakness is quickness. It's not a weakness, but if he was quicker, he'd be like a top level centre back. So if you get his quickness up to like 13 and 13 or 14 and 13 for acceleration and pace, get his dribbling up to like 9 or 10, he's pretty much going to be okay with natural development everywhere else. Obviously, there's things you'd love to improve in concentration, tackling, positioning, but those things are going to come with him developing anyway, I think. But the quickness, I think, needs a specific area of targeting for him. David Webster. Now, this is somebody who may not have seen much in the series at all. He's been in our under-18s. I've been following his progress. He's been getting better and better. And he got to the point where I actually looked at him and thought, he's not far off playing. Like, he's not far off of what Mitchell King was like. Maybe he's like 6 months older. And I thought, I'm going to give him a chance. David Webster has been playing in matches. He's left-footed centre-back. And he's been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Or, okay, he's survived, he survived and he's been part of a team that wins. So that's what I'm saying. He's been fantastic. So he comes in. I've actually sold Shaughnessy because David Webster's now ahead of him in the list, and he would be no matter how important the game was now, because I trust him enough where if I needed to play a centre-back, he's at least good enough now where he can go and survive in a back 3. In a back 2, he couldn't, but in a back 3, he can. And I still think at the moment playing a back 3 utilises our players. It gives us our most first-team ready youngsters a chance to play in the first team, is what it does right now, which is good for us. So Webster's been very good. I think he'll continue to improve as well. Really good player. Brendan Hughes is starting to look very, very good. Now, this is one of the success stories of the save, I think, so far. If you go back through to when he was introduced into the game, Brendan Hughes, all those seasons ago, he's improved quite a lot. Let's look at all time, actually. What is the actual attributes on it? And look at this. That is some impressive achievements there. Anticipation +4, composure +1, concentration +2, decisions +2, vision +3. Like, that is an outstanding achievement. Now, what's notable there, though, to you? To me, mental and physicals are improving. Technicals are not improving. So, do we have to look at the schedules a little bit and maybe focus a bit on that? We have noticed that a little, haven't we, with certain players? But let's give it to the end of the season. And I may tweak some of the schedules because, yeah, it's notable that technicals aren't improving as much on players. But it could be the way that it's harder to get some of those to improve for certain players anyway. So it could be that as well. We need to be wary of all considerations. But what a player, Brendan Hughes. And he's been fantastic as well. What's his contract? It was a 3-year contract he's still got. Did he sign it recently? Fairly recently. I think he's going to start getting an interest in pretty soon. Let's get him on like an 8-year contract here. Come on. Come on, Brendan. Let's get you on one. Oh, he wants a minimum fee release clause, though. I guess he's going to demand this anyway, right? So 13 point, that you can have that. Contract extension by club. Then you can have like that. You can have that. And he's accepted it. Well, apparently now this can go up now. Oh, okay. Is it because we offered him more money or something? So that's going to be effectively a 4-year contract plus a 3-year extension. That's a 7-year contract for Brendan Hughes. That is good stuff. Okay, I've just gone through and offered some players and contracts there. As you can see, I've got Tom Kiernan, Brendan Hughes, Dave Webster, Aled Harrison all getting new contracts. All basically 4 or 5 year contracts for 3 years. Optional extension by the club. So pretty good stuff. Let's carry on with the development review. Tom Kiernan has been slowly improving, nothing too much in the last 6 months, but he's a good, solid, he's backup number 10 player. It's hard to get him too much starting football. How old is he now anyway? He's only 18 still, so he's quite young, but looking pretty good. Could do with him having like a big shove in his development now. Okay, John King started to really go off the ball, wasn't scoring, found it very difficult to score goals. However, since we've gone to this new system with the sort of 3 shadow strikers, he has managed to start scoring goals, so hopefully he regains a bit of authority into the team and becomes a good player for us going forwards. Kyle Andrew is another one of our backup centre-backs. He's basically, him and Webster are pretty close for who would go in as a starter between the two. Both of them are pretty good. Kyle Andrew's more like a middle of the back three kind of defender, slightly slower, but better in the air and more defensive in that way. Mika, the backup goalkeeper, he's been brought into the first team squad to basically be in a mentoring group, and he still plays with the 21s, and he's improving slowly, which is good. Sean Rothwell, I was hoping he'd become like a good backup wing back for us, but I think he's developing a little too slowly for my liking, which is unfortunate, but that's him. Giannis, over the last 6 months, has improved in all areas, technically, mentally, and physically. Some +1s. I'm excited about him maybe going into the team next season. He's going to be another like defensive number 10, though, which I'm not sure. He's going to be another like defensive midfield player, though. We've got quite a lot of those already, so not sure if that's the best thing for the team, but he's developing in any case. We get a lot of CDMs and goalkeepers is what we seem to get. Gavin Pritchard has never started well for us since he spawned into the team last season. Not looking great and is probably not going to reach the heights that we'd like him to. I can really throw him into the team early as a shadow striker and see how he gets on in this system, but not doing very well in the youth team. Alberto Polo was doing really well and he got a really bad injury. Like you can see his bravery's gone down -3 there, which is a shame. He was starting to do really, really well as well. So hopefully he comes back and does well. But he's still, I think he's still out, isn't he? What's he got? Torn abdominal muscle. So there you go. Our other goalkeeper, Luke Norval, in the under-18s, has got a +1 in the decisions. That's pretty much it so far, though. And you got Mazzy Milson, who was one of the last people in the intake last year. He's improving quite a lot, actually. Like, he's already got a couple of +1s. He's only been at the club for 6 months. I'm looking forward to seeing how he develops. And that is pretty much everybody that you need to see, I think, for this second. So there's your update of the players. I mean, I'm still not seeing any more first-team players. Like, it's quite funny. Dave Webster sort of came out of nowhere. I wasn't really anticipating him being a first-team player, and all of a sudden he is. It sort of happened with Brendan Hughes a little bit as well. So it's quite hard to tell sometimes who's going to be the one. Because there isn't anybody that's coming through that you're like, okay, they're a standout. Maybe the goalkeepers, but that's really it. Okay, let's get into the first game then against Preston. Okay, by the way, Joe Powell was actually out for 5 weeks. So you see all this winning run here? That is without Joe Powell the entire time. Our best player. So our best attacking player probably. So that's really impressive that we're able to do it without him. And pleasing that we can survive a long-term injury to a key player and still survive. So that's really, really good news for us. In fact, he's going to come out here though. We're going to play... Should I play as a 10? Should we go Tom Kiernan? Let's get Tom Kiernan in the team. Get another youngster in there. So your team is going to be for this game. Harrison in goal with Webster, Hughes and King across the back. Taylor and Hamer wing backs with Heller and Hughes holding. With Victor, King and Kiernan as the 3 attackers. Now that on paper looks like a pretty weak Championship team and we're going to get beat. But you're going to see this team loves playing this system. They do quite enjoy it at the moment. Wow. They have been off camera. Let's see how they do under the pressure of everybody watching. There we go. Okay, so this manager says. The media comments, okay. So a bit of context, Preston are currently one place outside the relegation zone. There was a point, I think, 12 games in, 14 games in maybe. I think it's 12, where we were actually inside the relegation zone. And to be 20 games in and being mid-table and being much closer to the playoffs, I think, now than the relegation zone is incredible. Hamer with a throw-in, throws it into the box. It's headed away. Sam Hughes gets the ball. He takes some touches. We've got 2 Kings and Hughes. That's going to be a penalty. Yes, it's going to be a penalty. Wow, that was a turn up for the books of that. Who's going to take it? It's going to be Victor, I think, isn't it? I think he's the first taker. Victor does take the penalty. Does he score it? He misses it and he scores the rebound. Yes, come on. It's 1-0. 1-0 to Burton and we get ourselves off to a good start here. Brendan Hughes wins it. Plays the ball into nowhere. I don't know what he's doing there. It was a really poor effort from him. And they go long and the wing-back doesn't know what he's doing here. Apparently, they're going to get a whip into the box. It's going to be flagged offside just, but it was close. You're not getting to see all the patterns of play and the build-up stuff of the tactics I've got on key highlights, which I probably should have just done 2 matches, probably with extended. You can see the beautiful nature of the build-up. Free kick late for Preston. They clip it towards the back post, headed towards goal, hits the bar, and it's going to be cleared away again. Okay, well, say things are going well at half-time. Going to take off Kieran and throw on Kieran as the right 10, as it were. Kieran gets it, plays into Hughes. Hughes back to Mitchell King on the right-hand side, takes some touches, plays it into Heller. So we're probably a bit weak at right wing back because we haven't got like a natural winger type player that which we normally do. Got Hamer's obviously full, but oh, he's lost it. Gilligan scores. What will take one of those? We will take one of those instead of going against us. It's 2-0 to Burton. Thank you, Preston, for gifting us this win. Going to take Victor off, put on William. Going to take off, I think, or Brennan Hughes is a bit tired. Let's take it off and put on Charlie Lackin. So this game is going to end with us only 6 points off the playoffs out of nowhere. Absolutely nowhere right in the mix for the playoffs. We'll take that. Okay, I will see you then in a few days for the West Brom game. Okay, Justin Barker-Trott is back. I'm actually just going to play Webster, Mitchell King again. I'm going to drop Hamer out the side for now. It'd be nice to try and just get Hughes and Hamer to one of them always be out the team for now, especially while we're winning, to try and get as much development out of the two youngsters and for Hudson and Andrew. So, yeah, looking good. Okay, let's go on to the next game and play against West Brom. I said Sam Heller wasn't fit for this game, actually. How tired is he? Where is he? He's okay. He plays half-time at the very least, to be fine. So they're also playing like a 3-at-the-back system against us. This will be quite interesting to see how it matches up against West Brom, who are in the playoffs. So West Brom are the team we're catching right now for that sort of last playoff spot. So if we were to win this would be a huge result for Burton Albion. Now Mitchell King heads back to the goalkeeper. Wow, I'm not quite sure what he was doing there, but at least he collected it. Harrison's got option here if he wants to go. This guy was way open, by the way. But, oh, that's not looking good. We get away with it. Brendan Hughes plays into Keenan. This overlap, we get these overlaps so well. So good getting the overloads. Justin Barker trots. Loses it, regains it, looks to link up with Mitchell King to Brendan Hughes into Sam Heller to Sam Hughes. Look at the players that are around. John King has it. He's gone wide himself. There's nobody else out here. Goes to play it back inside. Sam Heller into Brendan Hughes, into Victor, into Heller. Oh, it was a bit ambitious from the finish though. Terry Taylor into Webster, plays it in behind to King, flicks on into nobody. They're going to regain the ball. They're going to try and play out against us here. We're getting any pressure on them. Terry Taylor wins it back. Victor has it. Victor into Sam Heller. Plays a great ball in behind to Kinney. He's onside as well. Is he going to finish it? Is he going to finish it? He does. Come on. Here we go. Burton Albion on the charge. Here we go. Oh, I love this little academy team, and it's 1-0. Like, we are really good. You're probably not seeing the full aspect of it. I've been watching games in full match and comprehensive. You're not seeing all the beautiful link-up play and the overloads and the scenarios that we create. But also, because it's a triple shadow strike, if they start to go and engage and press high, then we can play it in behind. Right? But that's about the whole thing within the England DNA as well. Being on the ball and being unpredictable, right? You don't want to be predictable. And being able to play that when it's on. And that's the crucial thing, guys. You do it when it's on. It's not your only source of attack. It's when it's on. If they're starting to try and press you up, which is what they were trying to do there. We're going to go back here. See, we're going to retain this now. Slow, nice retain. Webster's going to play this into, hopefully, somebody on our team. Harrison. Now switch it to the other side. We've got, now, look at 2v2 here. Can we get in here and get into a 2v1? Kiernan. Oh, he's lost it. Kiernan, no. Did such a good job for the goal, but he's lost it. He does do that a few times. I've got to be honest. That is my one criticism of Tom Kiernan, is he does do that sometimes. He's not quite ready to play at that elite level as a number 10, get the ball in those tight areas, stay on it, and stay on the ball. He seems to lose it sometimes in that exact kind of scenario. So it's like, that's the kind of like rough with smooth sort of aspect you've got to have with these younger players in FM. If you're going to do an academy challenge, like, they're not going to be the expert player who does everything right all the time. But like, he scored earlier in the game, now he's made a mistake, and we'll see how it all develops, I guess, from this point onwards. But Taylor into Victor. Victor goes through. They play. Oh, that was close from them. Sam Hughes wins it. Terry Taylor into Brendan Hughes, goes through, takes a touch, goes through, goal, finish it, Brendan. Oh, that would have been so good. Okay, so 1.5 time. Let's say time to dig in. So long throw from West Brom. It's going to be headed. No. Okay, now it's going to be cleared though. Sam Hughes does it as John King ahead of him. He's got runners with him. If he wants to use somebody in there, he goes wide to Justin Barker-Trott, who's going to run away from their player, play it inside to Brendan Hughes. Links back up with his academy teammate, who plays a shite ball really across the pitch. Brendan Hughes gets it back there, plays a great ball into Justin Barker-Trott, who's onside, who whips it across the face of goal. John King heads it in, it's just over the bar. Going to take off Sam Heller, who's a bit tired. I'm going to move him across, Brendan Hughes that is, and put Gilligan in here. Okay, I'm going to take off Mitchell King and throw on Tom Hamer. I'm going to take off, what should we do here? Maybe John King comes off, put William on as the middle one of the front three. And they go in behind. Sam Hughes is going to get to this. Kieran Gilligan to John King, to Kiernan now. Has Tom in space, loses the ball. Come on, Tommy, better from you, mate. You can't just score a goal and play shit the rest of the game. Brendan Hughes tries to foul the player, doesn't quite get there. They're going to go through. Are they going to score West Brom? They go across. It goes up in the end. It's headed in. It's going to be 2-1 to them. I'll hear Taylor into William. Plays the ball back into Terry Taylor. Into Webster. Into Brendan Hughes. Plays back to Webster, to Sam Hughes. Webster, back to the goalkeeper. Switch it to the right now if you need to. Harrison. He's going straight in behind. He's got William as well. He's onside. He's going through. He's going to score. Oh, he has as well. It's going to be 2. It's 2-2. And the game is going to finish 2-2. I guess the only thing I don't really know what to do yet with is when we need to try and chase a goal, I don't know how to make that tactic become a good attacking tactic, if I'm honest. Like, without it becoming overexposed. That's my only concern with it right now. So, yeah, like I could have chased the game. I didn't want to chase the game just then because getting a draw keeps us in the mix, whereas a loss would have probably made it more difficult, even in the short term. So, yeah, I didn't really go for that game. I could have done, but I chose not to. But I'll see you in a few days anyway for the Luton game, and we'll see how we get on against them. Right, here we go then. Same exact team is going to play against Luton away. Let's see how we get on in this one. Assistant manager says, recent praise is justified, okay. So Luton are actually in 16th, sort of the lower half of the table, and it's away from home. It's kind of game, if we can get another win, that'd be a really good result for us. A draw would actually be an okay result as well, to be honest. And we've just really stabilised, I think, this season. Like I said, the only thing that I need to figure out is how to transition this tactic into a tactic that tries to get a goal without making it ridiculous. Like just moving the 3 shadow strikers to 3 strikers hasn't really worked. So we're trying to adjust something else in there. First highlight of the half, from 42 minutes, by the way. Sam Hughes heads it away. Luton carry on their attack. They're going behind. They get a shot on goal, and it's just gone wide. It was offside anyway. Highlight here, they're going behind. Webster heads it into Sam Hughes. Sam Hughes controls it into Heller. Got some patient build-up play here. Can try to make a run. Terry Taylor goes back inside. That's okay. Brendan Hughes to John King. He's got options. He's got 2v1. Justin Barker-Trott goes through. Takes some bad touches. Goes across to the wide area. Goes across to Keenan. And Keenan scores. And it's going to be 1-0 to Burton Albion. Yet again, there's little two on the right-hand side. Justin Barker-Trott is so essential to this tactic to work as a right wing back, I feel. Well, he's essential in the terms of if we're going to get promoted in the next 2 seasons, like this season somehow, or maybe next season, he has to be fit and playing. Once we lose him, we're going to probably go back to being that mid-table side again, I think. So, right wing back in the next intake would be really nice. Highlight goes to the far post. Mitchell King recovers it, plays it back to Terry Taylor. Takes some touches, goes inside and towards Gilligan. Gilligan into Mitchell King. Plays the ball to nobody, goes himself. Mitchell King, the centre-back, and he's fouled. It's given a penalty. Victor's going to take it. He technically did miss the last one, but he scored the rebound. Victor's going to take this one. Does he score it? He does. 2-0 to Burton Albion. Their attack continues. They play it through the middle, playing 3 at the back again like the last team did. They're getting behind against this. Right centre-back and middle centre-back were beaten, but keeper saves it. Well done, Aled Harrison. Good save from you. Stays 2-0. And there you have it. It's going to be a 2-0 win for Burton Albion. Another really good result for us and a good performance. We will say well done to the boys. That was a really, really good performance. I'm really happy with that. And at the end of today's episode, that leaves us only 5 points off the playoffs. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. If you would have seen the games off camera after the first episode of the season, I was honestly thinking, I don't know what to do. When it got to that game against MK Dons, and we lost 3-0, and we'd only had 5 points from the season, I honestly thought we were in deep, deep trouble. We hadn't scored in 3 games. I just wasn't sure what we were going to do. And this turnaround has just been, it's been honestly mind-blowing. I can't quite believe what's happening with this team, but they're doing it. And I do think it's gone past the point of it just being, because it's a new tactic, teams haven't reacted to it. I think that it's generally working really well for this team and this group of players. So I'm excited about that. That's really good news. And yeah, I guess we'll carry on into the next set of reviews, I guess, in March. So your next episode is going to be, I guess, it'll be Ipswich, Blackburn and Forest. Maybe even maybe just Blackburn, Forest and Derby, because they're going to be quite close games in terms of the title race, the playoff race, rather. So, yeah, no, really good stuff. I'm really pleased that this team is improved. Again, my only concern is Justin Barker-Trott. So if we can avoid losing him, that would be amazing. And probably essential in the next couple of years, but there we go. Brendan Hughes, I tell you what, we could probably move Brendan Hughes out to wing back and play somebody else in central midfield, because we've got a lot of central midfield players. We don't have anybody else that can play wing back. So that's probably what I would do in the short term, is move him out for the next season to be the wing back and move somebody else in midfield. Because I could play Kieran Gilligan in the box-to-box one. We could get away with it right now. I could potentially play Powell in this team, maybe move Tom Kiernan back to the box-to-boxer role. Something like that, right? We could do that. And anybody else that's coming through. Maybe Giannis comes into the first team next season and he plays next to Sam Heller. Something like that, right? Could be any of those things. But we've got a plan anyway. We've got a plan. We've got a squad that can at least compete for now. And it's all looking very, very good and positive. But that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching the series. And I'll see you all next time.